Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest Colorado TV Translator Association. If you have a news topic or event that you would like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 970-677-4119. Today's show runs Tuesday at noon and is uploaded to our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page to watch on demand. Today is October 1st, 2019. Rabbit, and now the news at noon. Taxpayers will have to foot the bill to clean up the lingering mess of a crashed truck on U.S. Highway 550 near Cascade Creek after the Texas-based trucking company responsible for the incident stopped responding to calls and letters from authorities. This is reported in the Durango Herald with a file photo. On August 22, 2007, Freightliner headed south rolled onto its top near mile marker 53, close to the hairpin turn at the base of Coal Bank Pass, and became fully engulfed in flames. The driver, age 32, Julio Rivera Isizala, working as a private carrier for his own company, J.I. Rivera LLC, based in Houston, was taken to Mercy Regional Medical Center with moderate injuries. Authorities later cited Rivera Isizala with careless driving for failing to negotiate the turn. The truck was hauling gilsonite, a substance used as a road base for asphalt, not considered an environmental hazard. Still, hazmat crews immediately responded to the scene to clean up any diesel fuel that wasn't burned in the fire, and a berm was built to prevent substances or materials from getting into Cascade Creek, a tributary of the Animas River. For more than a month, however, a burned debris pile with truck parts, tires, and other waste has set off to the side of the highway, prompting concerns that rain could sweep the mess into the creek. Colorado State Patrol Captain Adrian Driscoll had the same concerns and said authorities have been working relentlessly to resolve the situation and get the mess cleaned up. But there have been complications, he said. Rivera Isizala had only enough insurance to cover the cost of removing the truck, but not the lingering mess. Over the past month, authorities have tried to get his company to fund the cleanup, but Rivera Isizala has stopped answering phone calls and letters, Driscoll said. They basically walked away from it, he said. We've been trying to get a hold of them to get the mess out of there, to no avail. Rivera Isizala was contacted for this story, but he quickly hung up once the Durango Herald started asking about the crash. CSP and the Colorado Department of Transportation met last week to discuss how to get the debris pile cleaned. Both agencies said using taxpayer money was a last resort, but unfortunately, it has come to that, said CDOT spokeswoman Lisa Schwantes. Quote, we tried to do our due diligence in trying to make sure the taxpayers didn't foot the bill, which is one reason it's taken this much time, she said. We realized we need to do something about it. We were just hoping the truck company would take care of it. Schwantes did not know how much it would cost CDOT to clean up the mess, most of which will be for equipment and hours worked. A careless driving citation carries a $169.50 penalty and 4 points on a license. Driscoll was unaware if Rivera Isizala has paid the fine. He said authorities are aware Rivera Isizala has retained an attorney for the situation. He said authorities are in the process of revoking Rivera Isizala's right to operate in Colorado, and a case has been opened by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, which is expected to conduct an audit on Rivera Isizala's company and could lead him to going out of business. Quote, hopefully because of his underinsured status, they will yank his operating authority nationwide, essentially putting him out of business, Driscoll said. Driscoll said uninsured and underinsured drivers are a common problem for Colorado authorities. He cited several crashes on Wolf Creek Pass that required taxpayer dollars to clean up. It's a burden for all of us, he said, and these companies think they can just get away with it. Driscoll said CSP and CDOT are awaiting a permit from the U.S. Forest Service to start cleanup work. He expected it should start within the week. Quote, we've been working on this since day one, he said, but it's one of those things that unfortunately takes time. And from the Journal, AP file Salt Lake. Congress is closer to approving a contentious wild horse initiative backed by national animal welfare groups and the livestock industry, but condemned by leaders of the largest coalition of Mustang advocates in the West. The Senate Appropriations Committee approved $35 million last week for the program supported by an unprecedented alliance, including the Humane Society of the United States, American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, National Cattlemen's Beef Association, and American Farm Bureau Federation. They say it would eliminate the threat of slaughter for thousands of free-roaming horses and shrink the size of herds primarily through expanded fertility controls on the range. Critics say it drops long-held opposition to the capture of mustangs across 10 western states and could allow for sterilization of mares, a hot-button issue with horse protection advocates historically. Reported by the Durango Herald with a file photo, a new regional nonprofit called Four Corners Slow Money wants to help develop the regional agricultural economy by providing small-scale farmers and food-focused entrepreneurs with no-interest loans. Small growers can have trouble qualifying for traditional loans if they don't have credit, if they require a small dollar amount, or if they need flexible terms, said Sandhin Tilston, a member of the steering committee. With this local loan, we can support just about anything a farmer wants to do on their farm, she said. The funds for the loans are raised through donations from members of the group. All donors who give $250 or more become members of the group and vote on what loans should be approved, she said. Farmers and entrepreneurs can become members by donating a minimum of $150. We want people to have engaging conversations and feel like everyone in the membership has a stake in these loans, she said. As loans are paid back, the money will go into a revolving loan fund. The idea of Four Corners Slow Money was based on a model promoted by the Boulder-based Slow Money Institute, which encourages investment in sustainable local food systems. The group also promotes small groups and clubs such as Four Corners Slow Money that can organize the investment. Slow Money groups have invested $73 million since 2010 in 752 farms and food enterprises, that according to the group's website. Four Corners Slow Money would like to serve farmers across the region, including those in Montezuma County, San Juan County, New Mexico, San Juan County, Utah, and the Navajo Nation, because no other group is providing the same service in the area, Tillotson said. The group also hopes to build connections across state lines, said Susan Pelko-Schreier, vice president with the group and San Juan County, New Mexico resident. Quote, part of what we want to do is expand what is our sense of community, she said. To get started, Four Corners Slow Money is operating under the umbrella of Two Forks Club, a similar organization that serves the region near Paonia and Aspen. The Two Forks Club has helped producers purchase trucks, tractors, and other equipment. It also has helped launch a farm-to-table catering company and a compost tea business, according to its website. Compost tea is a liquid fertilizer made with compost. Four Corners Slow Money plans to grant its first $3,000 loan on Sunday and approve 5 more loans in February. The nonprofit expects to grant loans annually in the winter going forward. The first loan will be granted during a community potluck and fundraiser for residents who want to learn more about Slow Money. The event will be held from 4 to 7 p.m. on Sunday at Manna, Durango's Soup Kitchen at 1100 Avenida de Sol. Please RSVP on their website at fourcornerslowmoney.org/events. And now let's take a look at our weather. Today, a red flag warning continues into tonight. Sunny with a high near 68 degrees and still breezy with that south-southwest wind 15 to 20 miles an hour with gusts as high as 30. Tonight, clear with a low around 38 degrees, breezy with a south wind 15 to 20 miles an hour, decreasing to 5 to 10 miles an hour after midnight, but the winds could gust as high as 30 miles an hour into the evening. And then looking into a cool Wednesday, sunny with a high near 64 degrees. South winds around 5 miles an hour, becoming west in the afternoon. So we get a break from that strong wind finally for Wednesday night. And it's clear with a low around 36. West winds around 5 miles an hour, becoming calm. But then Thursday, it's looking sunny with a high near 72 degrees, and east winds at 5 to 15 miles an hour become south by the afternoon. We get some of those winds gusting again as high as 25 miles an hour. Thursday night, mostly clear with a low around 46 degrees. For Friday, sunny with a high near 71. Friday night, mostly clear with a low around 41 degrees. And hopefully, we'll catch a nice fall weekend. Saturday, sunny with a high near 70 degrees. Saturday night, clear with a low around 40. Sunday, sunny with a high near 69 degrees. And mostly clear Sunday night with a low around 39. We'll know more if the National Weather Service is expecting any further winds over the weekend, or perhaps we'll be able to really enjoy a couple of nice, calm days. And now, back to the news. Reported in the Journal, Mike Easterling photo. A Colorado historian is leading a team to survey inscriptions left by settlers and others on the ceilings of 900-year-old ruins in northwestern New Mexico. Fred Blackburn and his team will study the lengthy messages or graffiti left at the Aztec Ruins National Monument to gain insight on how others saw the engineering marvel, the Farmington Daily Times reported. Some of those who left inscriptions were white settlers who tried to make sense of the structures, Blackburn said. Blackburn wants to know the stories of those folk and add historical context to their inscriptions in as many cases as possible. We want families who have been here for generations and can shed some light on what this place was like 100 years ago, he said. They were the keepers of that early history. The monument near the town of Aztec is made of 400 masonry rooms and is an ancestral Pueblo structure that dates back to the 11th to the 13th centuries. White settlers named it after mistakenly believing it was built by Aztecs from central Mexico. Amateur explorations of the ruins began shortly after Anglo settlers began moving into the area in the 1870s, said Blackburn, a former Bureau of Land Management ranger. Blackburn spent years working in the National Bridges National Monument in southeast Utah before helping establish the Crow Canyon Archaeological Center near Cortez and the White Mesa Institute at the College of Eastern Utah. Those early visitors often gained entry to some of the sealed rooms at the ruins by knocking down some bricked-up windows or doors, leaving debris scattered several feet deep. They would stand on that rubble while leaving an inscription with a quill pen and ink or lead pencil on the vigas or latias that make up the ceilings. Blackburn emphasized he isn't interested in trying to shame anyone into returning any artifacts their ancestors may have removed from the ruins before the site fell under the protection of the American Museum of Natural History and the National Park Service. He wants information, not relics. Blackburn's team plans to examine 23 of the original and intact rooms at the ruins. It was working on its 6th room earlier this week, a process that had gotten underway this past May. He estimated his team would not finish its work until December. The project is being funded by federal money in the form of a Cooperative Ecosystem Studies Unit grant that is funneled through the firm Archaeology Southwest in Tucson, Arizona. Have you heard of the Mothers of Mesa Verde? Reported in the Journal with a photo by Jim Mimiaga. The Colorado General Federation of Women's Clubs is celebrating its 125th anniversary by honoring early members who played a key role in the establishment of Mesa Verde National Park in 1906. On Saturday, the public attended a ceremony at the Henaway House Pullout for the unveiling of a new interpretive sign dedicated to the early club members who worked to preserve the famous ancestral Puebloan cultural sites. The pullout is on the Cliff Palace Loop, about 23 miles from the park entrance. Park staff and club members gave speeches about the new sign. A proclamation signed by Colorado Governor Jared Polis was presented. That sign was in great disrepair until this year when our club members purchased a new one, said Teresa Reuter, president of GFWC Colorado. We worked with Mesa Verde on the wording and design of the new sign. The title of the new sign is, quote, "Women Led the Way." Club members donated $1,500 to purchase the new display. The group has a long and storied history with Mesa Verde, and that support continues. It was in Pueblo in 1897, 122 years ago, that Virginia McClurg and Lucy Peabody spoke at a state convention of the CGFWC and alerted the women of the need for saving the cultural sites of Mesa Verde. It was at that meeting that the group organized a committee for the, quote, restoration and preservation of the cliff dwellings and Pueblo ruins in Colorado. McClurg emerged as the chairperson of that committee. In the book, quote, Women to the Rescue, Creating Mesa Verde National Park, author Dwayne A. Smith wrote, quote, "Who saved Mesa Verde? Women did. Who created the national park? Women did." Before Mesa Verde National Park became a preserve of the nation's amazing archaeology and human history in 1906, it was a target of looters and full of picnic trash. Quote, "We went to a lecture by Virginia McClurg in Denver and heard stories of outfitters with shovels and dynamite busting through walls so they could get to the artifacts and sell them," said a park tour guide playing the Peabody role and dressed in the attire of the time. Quote, "We got upset because we knew the archaeology there belonged to all of us." Depression economics at the end of the 19th century drove local farmers to loot ancient sites for revenue, she says. In 1900, a whole pot excavated from Mesa Verde would fetch $3,000. Another archaeologist from Sweden simply packed up crates of artifacts and boarded the train in Durango. There were no laws against looting then, so authorities had to let him go. These women embarked on a quest to preserve these sites because somebody had to, Reuter said. They lobbied to convince Congress to make it a national park. After a couple of false starts, President Theodore Roosevelt designated Mesa Verde National Park in 1906, quote, "to preserve the works of man," and he also signed into law the American Antiquities Act, prohibiting removal of historical artifacts from public lands. A Memphis Times-Tribune headline read, quote, Mesa Verde brought under control of federal government to preserve cliff dwellings. In 1906, there were 73 visitors to the new national park. Colorado was pressured to build a road into the park to allow stagecoaches to arrive with visitors. And today's High Canyon Country happenings. October 5th, join local and park astronomers for their annual Star Party in Mesa Verde National Park. Enjoy the wonders of the night sky at the Moorfield Campground Amphitheater on Saturday, October 5th, from 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Mesa Verde Park Ranger Kayla Lanu will guide you through this stellar event. Kayla has presented night sky programs at Dinosaur National Monument and Chaco Cultural National Historic Park. Highlights will include constellation identification, multicultural sky stories, and stunning telescope views of the many beautiful heavenly objects adorning the early fall night sky. Also, October 5th on Saturday is the Dolores Harvest Fest and Car Show. It's happening from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. It's free entry. They'll have beer from Dolores River Brewery and Mancus Brewing Company and cider from Fenceline Cider and Tea Lazy Tea Orchard, home of the Teal Cider, along with a hot spiked cider served at Snaggletooth Saloon. Thank you, Chamber. There will be food trucks and food vendors. Think fry bread, Navajo tacos, brats, burgers, hot dogs, cinnamon nuts, shaved ice, so good. Farmers selling veggies and meat and eggs and more. They'll have other vendors selling arts and crafts and cool things you can't find in other places. Other activities to enjoy include the car show, pumpkin painting, stick horse making, hay rides, a petting zoo, chili contest, which begins at 11 a.m., bobbing for apples, strongmen and women comps, stick horse races, three-legged races, apple toss, and dangling donut, with live music by the Snyderfish starting from 5 to 7. And also on this Saturday, the CSU Extension Research Station for Montezuma County and Dolores County is offering another You Pick. That's from 9 a.m. to noon. Bring your own bag or box. Many varieties of apples and pears this time around. It's 75 cents per pound, cash or check only. And that's in Yellow Jacket. I post up all of these High Canyon Country happenings on our Facebook page, which is DCTV News at Noon, so you can look up phone numbers and dates. We also upload the daily news to our YouTube channel, which you can search for with the same name, DCTV News at Noon, and the broadcast is also posted to the general Facebook page where we add links to stories of interest, share other events or news, and where you can join in on the conversation too. This is your local community TV station, so if you have something that you would like to share, contact us. The email is dcbnnews@gmail.com, and the phone number is 970-677-4119. Thank you for tuning in. News at Noon now airs at noon Monday through Friday, and then is available on demand online on our YouTube channel and posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page. We would love to ask you to like us there and share it with your friends and family. This has been a production of DCTV for the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, Colorado, USA. I am Kendra Cook, and thank you for watching.